No yelling or slapping mummy in the face. Aliyah, you hear what Jojo's saying?
Are you listening? I don't think they want. I think they want.
It is Supernanny Saturday, and this week we are watching the Wischmeyer family. So let's grab our beverages and dive in.
Let's take a look and see what family we've got here.
Hi, we're the Wischmeyers. I'm John, and this is my wife, Melora. We have 3 children. Jared, he's 9. And then our twin daughters, Ashlyn and Aliyah, are 4.
Aliyah is my youngest twin.
Let go of me, you mom.
She screams. She kicks.
Aliyah. No, I'm not.
Oh dear.
I'll give you something to cry about.
With 1.5 million pairs of twins born every single year, the Wischmeyer family is not alone. But in addition to their 4-year-old twins, they have a 9-year-old son, and there are some sibling issues happening here. Mom works from home, and she thought working from home would be helpful so she could be there with the kids, but clearly what she's doing is not working. Now, this was season 1, so at the end of today's episode, we will be pulling up where all of these children are now that are adults and in their 20s, as well as mom and dad. I already found some good links, so I'm looking forward to that. Let's see how Joe's observation goes.
Can I take this call?
No.
Why? You need to be quiet. 2378. You want to? No. Aliyah, stop it. We'll do it when we get done working. You know what? I don't know what to do. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know what to do because I have a boss here that tells me to get on the phone or I'm going to get fired, and I have kids that are totally out of control.
Jo Frost hit it on the head with this one. We have a full-time job and 2 4-year-olds at the exact same time. That is not living, that is surviving. And I can put money on the fact that when mom's at the computer, and she's getting her work done and the kids are just playing so nicely, I bet she doesn't even turn around. But as soon as somebody yells, they start arguing, things start to get thrown, boom, she probably turns right around. Kids want our attention. And that is why they say it all day long. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And then you're like, oh, look at you. You just did that jump thing that you did 2 seconds before. But wow, look at you. They will take negative attention over no attention. Unfortunately, mom is in this survival state. She has to work and care for the kids. There are many people dealing with this because of daycare costs and all kinds of situations. Are there things we can do even though it's a less than ideal situation? Absolutely. And I'm sure Jo Frost will go over some ideas as well. If you're new here, I'm Kristen. I'm an educator and mom of 2 myself. We use Supernanny as a jumping off point to discuss discipline techniques. I like to offer alternatives. Not all of our families look and act the same, have the same temperaments. And so if you are interested in that kind of stuff, hit the subscribe. We are 1 away from 2,000. One person. You might be the 1 person to make this 2,000. Let's see how the rest of observation day goes.
Afternoon, Jared came home from school, and it wasn't long before Aliyah came into his room and stole his playing cards.
Oh no!
What does Mummy and Daddy do about it?
Nothing. Jared, quit doing that. I'm not. It's action. And Maya just threw all my cards on the floor.
Older brother Jared is home from school and the negative attention cycle continues. We have shifted from trying to get mom's attention to let's try to get older brother's attention. Let's take his cards and let's throw them all over the place and let's see what happens. Let's play the recorder really loud near his ears. Let's see what happens. And then mom yells at him as if he did something wrong. And what breaks my heart is look at his body. Listen to his voice. He is defeated. He's not even fighting back. He looks at Joe and he goes, yeah, this is just how it is. And that's just not fair. It is our jobs as caregivers to make sure that our children are safe, even if it means safety from their own siblings. I have an 11-year-old and a 7-year-old. This is about a 4.5-year gap. It is not okay to look at my older child and go, oh, well, you just have to deal with it because you have a little brother. Absolutely not. If you don't want your little brother to touch those things, we can find a safe place for them. You should have somewhere in the house that you can go to. And then mom blames him. You're not even privy to what happened. So don't assume that it's his fault. There's so much wrong here. And it looks like he doesn't even believe that his mom will protect him anymore. He's completely given up.
Dave, the lights are done.
Hey, Jared, don't use that word.
He keeps saying shut up to me.
Jared hardly said a word, and Melora sent him to his bedroom. I think Jared, in a way, has kind of given up on voicing what he feels because he knows what the result will be.
Thank you, Jo Frost, for not only comforting Jared, but letting him know that somebody is willing to listen to him. Hang in there, Jared. Jo Frost is here. Conflict resolution skills do not get taught with consequences. Having children go to their rooms may stop the conflict temporarily, but as soon as they're together again, it's just going to continue. Think of it like putting kids in a boxing ring. They're throwing punches, then you put them, separate them, everybody go to your corner, and then as soon as they're together, they throw punches again. It doesn't teach them anything. When do you teach children these skills? Ideally, it would be in the moment where you could work with them right now, but right now mom's working. So do I expect her to lose her job and get fired and be like, we're going to spend 20 to 30 minutes working on conflict resolution right now? Absolutely not. What you're going to do, mom, is you're going to go up the stairs. You're going to say, hey guys, I see that you're having problems together. That happens sometimes. I don't know what happened. They might start talking to you. I don't know what happened, and I want to know what happened. Right now, I'm on a phone call. As soon as this phone call is over, we can talk about all of this because I want to hear what you have to say. But right now is not the time. So in order for me to keep everyone safe, I need for both of you to go to your rooms. You're not in trouble. I just need you to be separated for safety reasons. And as soon as I'm done with this phone call, we can talk about it. Doing that allows you to keep your job because obviously you're not going to sit there for 20 or 30 minutes. And then secondly, when you circle back later on, it teaches the children to trust you and trust your word, that you are there to help them. Even if right in that moment you can't solve it, you remember it and you're going to help them later.
When I was observing the family through bedtime, John and Melora both went downstairs to put Ashlyn and Aliyah to bed, but the girls were having none of it.
No, you don't, but you have to. It'll be all right. Mommy lay with you. Ashlyn just threw a horrendous fit that I get in bed, so I gave in and I did go to bed.
Look who has decided to join us today. It is Spiffy. And I don't know if I've shared this before, but I adopted Spiffy very shortly after I was married. I got married when I was 21. And so I've had Spiffy longer than I've had my two children. And so he is my original baby. And I just want him to live forever. So let's have him just hang out with us while we discuss this mess. Look at this mess, Spiffy. This mess. Why is this a mess? It is not a mess because there's a family bed or because mom fell asleep with the girls. Absolutely not. That's not the problem. The problem is that you said that they were going to sleep on their own and then they didn't sleep on their own. The biggest problem I see with parents is they don't take the time to really think about what they're capable of handling and then making the plan and sticking with it. No means no. So if you look at your daughter and you say, tonight you are going to sleep in your own bed and I am not going to sleep in the bed with you, and then you end up getting in the bed, that's a problem. That's a big problem. Nobody benefits from it. The girls were all whiny. Mom and dad obviously aren't spending any time together. Dad even shares with us how upsetting that is, that he hardly even gets to see his wife until the weekend and then rinse and repeat the next week all over again. It doesn't work for anyone. And the girls didn't even fall asleep in the bed. So the way to avoid this is to sit down and be intentional about your parenting. If you feel like at the end of the day, you're just not at a place to be strong and stick with that no, then just get in the dang bed in the beginning and be done with it. But to say no and then do it anyway, that's like the worst decision you could possibly make. What do you think? He's like, I'll get in the bed, I'll snuggle.
But Laura, you work a full-time job at home and it's not working. And both you and your children are suffering for it.
I think I'm gonna cry.
Hey, it's okay, Melora.
Sorry.
It's healthy that as adults we have our own fulfillment.
Huh. That's interesting. I assumed that mom was working out of necessity. I did not think it was out of choice. Now, don't get me wrong. There is nothing wrong with wanting a career and also wanting children. When you become a parent, you don't suddenly lose your identity and become only a mom, become only a dad. You still have desires, but I think we have to be very honest about the new responsibilities and obligations we have, and you can't have it all. But I found peace in knowing that things are stages and chapters of life. So when I was in the throes of very, very young children, where you're changing the diaper over and over again, you're dealing with the tantrum over and over again, you're feeding them again, you're cleaning up the mess that you just cleaned up the day before, probably that you just cleaned up the hour before, and you're looking around and you go, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that, and you feel maybe lonely. I found peace in just going, this is a chapter in my life. I am going to blink and my children will be older. And there's that whole phrase of the days are long, but the years are short. And now my kids are 11 and 6, and I'm able to do this. And I wonder for mom and dad, because it shouldn't just be on mom, is there a way to configure their desires that works for their whole family? Like, could dad potentially work less hours so that mom could work, and then they could tag team, maybe one of them work weekends or evenings? Or even so, maybe just hanging on to the fact that they're all going to be in school next year. The older brother's already in school. The twins are going to be in school very shortly. And then you could work all day while they're at school. So I think it's more of a societal problem if I'm generalizing. We want to get married and have a companion, but we don't want to answer to anyone, and we miss the single life. We want to have kids, but then we don't want the obligations. We want to be healthy and fit, but we don't want to put in the effort to eat right and exercise. We can't have it all, and that's okay, because our lives are going to change a lot. And if something's not right now, it could be later. It could just be a not yet. I wish I could tell mom that.
Brought you something.
See the schedule.
It is. It will balance out spending time with the children, and at the same time, it will give you your fulfillment so that you can also work and spend quality time with the kids as well, okay? So let's pin it up. Okay, this is going to be your routine. Where I've placed the red circles here, it's where you're working, and that is roughly 6 hours.
Love a schedule, love the red dots. It is crystal clear when mom is at work and when mom is not at work. And what this does is it gives the gift of releasing the guilt. When you are not with your kids and you're getting things done, instead of thinking, oh, I feel so bad, I'm not with the kids, this is the time you're getting things done. And then on the other side, when you're with your children, you don't feel bad that, oh, I should be getting this done. Everything has a place. It's kind of like organizing your home. If you watch any of those channels, I love to watch them. I'm not a minimalist by any means, but I really enjoy watching channels where they organize. One of my favorite channels is called A to Zen Life. And everything has a home. This is where this goes. This is where that goes. And everybody just understands it and it just flows so nicely. I think that's what a schedule does for children, is it gives them the confidence of like, oh, I really want mommy's attention right now, but I know I'm going to get it later.
So, household rules. No kicking, no biting, no yelling or slapping mummy in the face, because that behaviour is not acceptable. You hear me, Ashlyn? Aliyah? You hear what Jojo's saying?
Are you listening? I don't think they want. I think they want.
La 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 la, I can't hear you. I think this is my favorite scene of the episode so far. Now, you might be watching this and wondering, oh my gosh, why doesn't Jo Frost discipline for that? Isn't that so rude? It is so rude, but she has bigger fish to fry here. When you're implementing a discipline program with your children, you're going to pick your battles. Right now, these children hit and yell, and they do behaviors that are way worse than just sticking their fingers in their ears. So we're gonna start with that and then slowly add the other things in. It makes me think of, you know, when you first start disciplining a child and having consequences and teaching them, they might stomp their feet to their room. They might huff and puff, and it might really get under your skin. And you remind yourself in those moments of, this is where we're starting. And so let's say my child used to pick up a chair and throw it. Maybe you have a child who struggles with aggression. If they just huff and puff, that's a success, okay? But if you have a child who just huffs and puffs and doesn't throw anything, and you don't want them to huff and puff anymore, then yes, then you would implement the discipline.
Later that afternoon, it was nap time, and John asked Aliyah to take a nap.
Aliyah, you need a nap. Come on, walk over here and sit down.
Aliyah, can you get down from the stool, please? Look at me, Aliyah. I'm talking to you. Daddy has said that you have to take a sleep. Aliyah?
No.
I have to cut in here real quick because I think this tantrum could have been avoided altogether. Was there any preparation? When we come out of nowhere to a child and we just ask them to stop what they're doing, imagine what that feels like for you. Let's say you're in the middle of your favorite show, and then somebody comes and they just click off the TV. How's that feel? She's in the middle of coloring. What you could have done, I'm not saying to just let the kid do whatever they want, but could you have gone over and then talked to them a little bit about what they're coloring? Oh, what are you making? Oh, yeah? You're making a rainbow. Okay, I see you have these 3 colors done, so you have a few more colors to do. Okay, it's just about nap time. Do you want to be able to finish those rainbow colors now quickly, or do you want to do them after your nap? By doing that, you are giving a strong-willed child some sense of control over the situation, and then you just enforce it. So let's say they say, I want to finish it now, which is probably what they're going to say. Stand there the whole time, and you go, okay, you did this color, you did that color, okay, that's your final color, and then they begin to color more. You go, excuse me, we just spoke about this. You are finishing up the rainbow. You finished the rainbow. Now we are done. And then the child might throw their body on the floor. And if they are with it enough, meaning that they're not totally emotionally flooded, you might even be able to say something like, I gave you the choice, and you're showing me that you can't handle the choice. Next time, I won't give you the choice if you continue to act this way. I'm trying to give you more independence, especially as kids get older. We want them to know that they have some sense of control over things. I'm not here to just take away all your fun. I want you to be able to color, but it's nap time, so we got to make this work, dude.
You're not listening. No! You're not going to act like this. So let's go. We got 4 minutes in the naughty.
Follow it through, John. Follow it through.
Do not get out of here.
Move away. Move away, John. She kicked up a fuss and she started stamping her feet and screaming.
I don't want to stand in the corner.
Yeah, that's a strong-willed child. You know you have a strong-willed child when you enforce a consequence and they don't fold, they double down. Kicking, screaming, she's in the corner. She's like, I'm not gonna stay in this corner. And then she goes to her room, she's holding the door shut. It's just, when you enforce discipline in this timeout, like power struggle with a strong-willed child, it's like swimming upstream. So I prefer to go this route with a child like this. I would look at that child who's coloring, and just like I said before, I'd say, okay, nap time's coming up soon. You can add 3 more colors to your picture or whatever. And then I'd say, and after our nap, we can add glitter to our painting. Oh, that's so exciting. Okay, let's quickly go upstairs and take our nap so we have enough time to put glitter on our paper later. And then when the child throws their body on the floor because you've now taken away the paper and the whatever, the colors and all that stuff, then you go, excuse me, that's 1. If we don't get upstairs and start the nap, we will not have time to put the glitter on our picture later. That's 2. I see you're still having a hard time. I'd really like to be able to put glitter on the paper later, and I hope we can do that, but we need to get into the nap. When I count to 3, we're no longer going to be able to have time to put glitter on the paper later.
Me.
Yeah? It's time for bed, darling.
No, Mommy, I want you to lay with me.
Come on, guys, it's time for bed.
I want you to lay with her. Mommy, lay with me. Lay with me. Lay with me. Lay with me. Okay, I'll come with you, okay? Mom, if you don't lay with us, Dad's going to.
Ignore that.
We are halfway through the sleep technique, and I am 100% on board with this technique that Jo Frost uses. It's not a power struggle because it's just, this is our schedule. It's time for bed. You're not yelling at them. You're not negotiating with them. You're just continuing to enforce what you say. There's just no talking involved, or you minimize your talking as you go through. And you could see she's pushing back. She's pushing back because she's used to, when she pushes back, she gets Mom in bed with her. Let's see how long it goes.
Get yourself up, Lenore. And that door's left ajar, right? You could find yourself doing this 50 times.
I can see that.
The consistency, it's the key.
I feel like it's working, don't you? I mean,
Yeah.
it's getting quieter. After 45 minutes, they were sound asleep and everything was well. And they did not get up in the night and they did not come to our room.
Yes, now Mom and Dad can have some time together, and it will only get easier the more consistent that you are. Think of it like this. Going to sleep for a child is a little bit like FOMO, fear of missing out. When they're in that limbo stage of sometimes you give in and sometimes you don't, they feel this sense of missing out because I could have Mommy in bed sleeping with me. Everything feels like anxiety inducing because they just don't really know. Once you have it in place, and this is just what we do at night, there's a peace that your children end up finding because they're no longer in limbo. And that's why I say either choose to do the sleeping technique and stick with it, or choose to do the family bed, but have some consistency for your kids, because if not, they're living in that stage of FOMO, and nobody likes FOMO. Everybody, it's nice to just feel confident in whatever decision you make, whether you decide to go to the event or you decide not to go to the event, and then you find peace that you're not going. No FOMO. Release your children of the FOMO.
It's been really good having Jo here. I think having Jo here has made me happier.
Yeah, darling, you speak to me. You'll be able to speak to me.
She's helped us a lot. Jo's made us a better, a tighter family. I'm gonna miss Jo a lot.
That's okay. It's okay to be upset. And when I next come to the States, I can pop in and say hi. Okay. You could teach me how to snowboard.
The rest of the episode included reinforcing a lot of the techniques we already saw, making sure that they are strong with that sleep technique, also reinforcing the discipline. Let's see where the Wischmeyers are now.
Here are the family members. Underneath we have trivia. This episode was the most viewed episode of season 1. It was also the only episode in which the younger siblings snitched on their older siblings. It was the first episode to show, the stay in bed technique. And it was the first one where Joe was wearing a French twist hairdo. Also, we do know that Jared was the son of just Melora, a previous marriage, and the twins were both from John and Melora. So you could see right here, maternal son. A goof that happened, which shows a little bit of behind the scenes with how much production gets involved, is when Elias says stinky butt, after Joe says it's outrageous, Elias is kneeling on the floor. However, when the camera zooms out, and she says it again, she's standing up. This is Melora's Facebook account. We have a few pictures of the kids. This is from 2023. Then if you click on this photo, you see Jared Johnson here. And here's his Facebook page. Then we also have Alaya's Facebook. This is Alaya. These look like engagement photos. Yes, there's a ring. Looks like on a cruise ship. Yep, that's a cruise. That is Carnival. I can tell. There's the actual engagement. Fiance. And then we have Ashlyn. Ashlyn also has some pictures with a gentleman. These were from 2021. The most recent photo of her here is 2023. And unfortunately, I couldn't find anything on John.
If you are still hanging around with me right now, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you, and I hope that you find this content both entertaining and educational. Remember that there is no perfect, there is only progress, and I'll see you next time.